Greg, what's going on?
Hiya, Howard.
Hey, man.
Stoked to be out on the road.
I saw that, man. You're, guys are out with Badfish, right?
That's correct. It's a fun show. You played those shows, right? Badfish
Yeah,
shows?
we've played so many shows with Badfish. I think the first tour we did with them was like 2009, and we did like 30 or 40 shows or something ridiculous.
Those fans are rowdy.
They
Rowdy.
are, and they're great, man. It's they're like made for this, you know. They're made for our music,
Yeah.
and it's fun to play for them.
Every time, really, like consistently. Doesn't matter where you go. It's always a party.
Yeah, and the Badfish guys have like always been super cool, and you know, taking care of us, and probably the last couple of years that I've, you know, anytime we've done shows or whatever, you know, I'm usually up on stage singing a song with them, or you know, and the crowd is, as you said, just super hype, you know.
They are. They like to drink. If you wait too long to go to merch, you will not get a coherent person ever. It's great.
It's yeah, it's fun, man. It's good to be back playing shows. You know, you guys kind of you didn't really stop too much or stop too long.
For the pandemic,
Yeah.
yeah, we luckily live in Florida, so we were pretty wide open as soon as we could be, and we have Duderman Productions, who was on top of it, booking the shows. So yeah, we didn't really slow down too much. I mean, we were in the studio anyway, so train kept moving. We did an acoustic album, and then we just finished recording another new album. And it's being mixed right now. Sounds awesome so far. Very stoked on that.
That's great, man. Yeah, I've been seeing your post. You've been real excited about the new record, and I think you played any demos from the last record, or is this are these demos for, like, I can't remember when you played this for me. It was maybe
Me neither.
2020 sometime.
Yeah,
Send
it
me
was
a link.
probably from this album. I mean, we've been writing it for like 3 years.
Okay, it probably was this
Maybe
one then.
two.
Yeah, there's some
Yeah.
cool stuff on there.
Yeah, and you probably heard like their super early stuff. We like to bounce things back and forth with each other in the early stages. So yeah, I mean, it sounds killer right now.
And you got Josh working on that, right?
That's right, Josh
Schwa.
Saldate, Jay Schwa.
Jay Schwab.
For those who don't know, he is this young, up and coming producer that you don't really know about him I mean, most people don't, because he's just always in the studio. Like I can't even get a hold of him most of the time because he's in a session, and he helped start our band. In some early photos, there's a photo out there. It's just me, Jackson, and Josh, and that was our band when we first started it. And he decided pretty early on that he did not want to tour, and I at first I was like, "You're crazy," but now I get it. So yeah, we love working with him. It's just like organically awesome every time.
Yeah, he's a good dude. He worked on our song "Fast Times."
That's right. That's
like
right. I remember
7
those
years
sessions.
ago.
Yeah.
In Orange, Florida, or something. Where were
Orange
we at?
City.
Orange
It was
City.
at Orange City, and the place, I think it was called First Avenue, or something about an avenue.
Something like
Studios,
that.
But
Yeah.
now it's called the Palace.
The Palace. Is it the same spot?
Same spot, same gear, different ownership.
Okay.
Cool place. I like it there.
That was a cool place, and it's got that like isn't there like a sub place next door?
Yeah, La Spadas or
Is
something
that
like
it?
that. Yeah, it's like I don't know if it was a dedicated sub place, but if you got the sub there, that's the move.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. I just remember we were there maybe 2 or 3 days, and that's where we would eat lunch and probably dinner uh, during the session.
I mean, it's like 10 feet from the building, so it's
Yeah,
a
it's right
kind
there.
of a given. But yeah, very very cool spot. Um, and that was a great session. I like that song a lot.
Yeah, yeah. We wrote it there that day, right? We just kind of like I remember the band we set up, and then the band just like jammed on it for a couple hours, I guess, and then we just started putting. We were like, "Oh, that's cool, that's cool," and then you start putting the pieces together. Basically like
Yeah,
you're crafting like the verse and then the chorus and then bridges and intros and outros and things, transitions, and then you start arranging and putting the pieces together in the right order, and that's always interesting and fun.
yeah. I remember just jamming that mix.
Yeah,
It was fire.
yeah. I thought it was such a cool, interesting. It was kind of like it was almost like an intro into what would become Girls a couple years later, like
Yeah,
because it had some production on it and some interesting vocal melody choices and just some stuff that I
sorry,
hadn't done
not
before.
sorry.
Sorry, not sorry. Oh yeah, yeah. We got the
You
girl.
mean that one?
That one, yeah, yeah. That's one of the things, yeah. I'm like, sorry, whatever. But yeah, some interesting like vocal stuff that I hadn't done, like some Brandon Lee type of shit, and you were there. That's what's cool about working with you is that you'll pull things out of me that I didn't know were there. Like that sounded really weird. I guess.
Look what you've got in here.
What's in here? No, you'll pull out like melodies or something that I didn't think of, and it's always an interesting dynamic when we work together.
It's always a pleasure, and I like working with your voice. It's very consistent, and I think a lot of people don't really realize how much they can sing. And I mean, you don't have that problem. You know, you can sing, but like when it comes to certain melodies and stuff, you wouldn't think of it because you're just not used to like being up in that register. And I like to, if I hear that somebody is capable of a certain melody, I'll try to get them to do it. And it's funny how, because like most, I don't really have this issue with you, but most people are like, there's no way. And it's like, there's a way. I can hear it. You just have to do it. And so, like Jackson, for example, he doesn't realize how good of a singer he is. He's been hitting my harmonies for 7 years now. You know? And those are high. That's not an easy feat to do. And he still is like, I don't know, man. But he can do it. He can do it very well.
I don't think I've ever heard his full main voice. Yeah, it's just the harmony stuff.
It's a harmony stuff. Yeah, he's you know, there's strong suits, and there's a reason why I don't record any guitars on our stuff. Half the set, I'm not even hitting the strings, and it's just for good reason. And he doesn't like to put his voice out there, but when it's sitting with my voice and Nick's voice, and we get a 3-part harmony, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. He's just a little scared of it. That's all.
You guys have definitely come a long way. And when you had me on Facebook this morning, I was thinking, because I was trying to think of like what I need to talk about. This is episode 150 of Tales, and yeah, I know it's weird, and it was like, oh, okay, this would be cool to get Greg on because I feel like the podcast has come a long way in the last few years. I think it's like, damn, it's gonna be 4 years next month or this month. But you guys have come a very long way in the time. So did you form the band? Was it 2014, 2015?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
14.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's been really fun to watch you guys grow, as a band and just sort of like find your little, carve out your little spot in this whole thing. Because like a lot of people probably know from listening before that we've been working together for a long time, and like we brought you on Warped Tour with us, and you were selling our merch and killing it.
Awesome.
And you're so good at like networking and talking and like making friends, and I think that part of the band's success is because of that, and the way you get the other guys involved, and they're happy to do it too, at the shows, seeing you guys out there slinging CDs or or whatever sort of thing you're doing to hype up something that day. It's great.
Yeah, it's been a huge part of our growth, and just I got very lucky with my guys. But not only are they incredibly talented, way more talented than I am, but they're willing to do everything that it takes, and they are excited to get out there and talk. I mean, Marshall's the first one out of the van when we go to the festival with a sign to go hit the line. And we'll have multiple signs. It's pretty uncommon to not see us out at a festival holding up signs and roping people in, because basically what I learned out there with you guys on the Warped Tour, and bringing that hustle to this genre and this community. And it's like nobody's gonna know who you are unless you tell them, and you gotta. I like to think that we are one of the more approachable bands. Speaking of approachable, Nick's here. Hey, I'm doing a podcast. You want to come say hi? Sure. Do you know this man?
Oh, hey, Howie.
Oh, hey,
How's
buddy.
it going, dude?
What's up, man? Just
You
chilling.
can say hi to his listeners too.
Hi, listeners.
Hey,
How's it
listeners,
going?
Look at
viewers.
that face. How could you not want to buy a CD from that guy?
Greg, I'm going to Dunkin'. Do you want anything?
Yes.
What do you want?
My usual. Do you know what that is?
No.
Just guess.
Okay.
I'll be happy.
Something sweet.
Something with sugar in it.
Yo, pick me up a midnight black.
How he wants a midnight black.
I'll get it to him. I'll get it to him in 3 business days.
3 business days, he
Thanks,
says.
sir. Thank you.
But yeah, we are, we want to be out there meeting the people, and you guys do it too. It's really, we take a lot of notes from the Ballyhoo University. And it's kind of something that I'm very grateful for, just all those years on the road with you guys, because I was able to instill a lot of do's and don'ts into our operation, and it's been very helpful.
Yeah. I'll look at what we're doing and just be like, and I'll see what you guys are doing, and I'm like, fuck, we gotta work harder, like, because I don't necessarily want to get up and go, walk around with a sign anymore. We've been doing it for a long time, and the Warped Tour was definitely like, you have like no choice when you're anything but a headliner, but a main stage band. You got to be out there.
You're this big.
You're this big in a sea of just,
Especially with you guys, it was, at the time, it was predominantly like hardcore screamo lineup.
Yeah.
And we're like, hey, you want to vibe with us?
want good
instead of being
vibes?
so mad about everything.
I know. And we're trying to play, like, one of the things I'm actually conflicted with this because I think about what does the audience want, and I want to give them what they want, but I also need to feed the beast. I've got to do what I want to do, right? And I know the band feels this way too. We want to do what we want to do, but we need to sometimes cater to the audience that we're playing for. So with Warped Tour, it was like we got to play some heavy shit, because like we gotta, and that was a problem for a while. And then we realized, like, man, it's like maybe we're on this tour for the purpose of breaking it up. Maybe we're supposed to just do what we do, and sort of break up any sort of monotony, or just have just something different.
It's crazy too, because a lot of those bands on that stage, like shot up. They just were
Yeah.
like you had G-Eazy, who was on Warped Tour, kind of an outcast.
Yeah, he was doing some
and
different type of stuff.
yeah, and then he went on to just be huge.
He's huge, dude, and he's such a nice guy too. Like
Yeah,
he was he like held my son. My son was 2 at the time, just turned 2, and I was like, dude, just hang out with my kid for a second. He's like talking to him and stuff. He was a good dude. Mod Son's another one. Mod Son's just exploded, especially the last like couple years.
yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah,
It's cool to watch everybody like evolve and stay grinding. That was like those two in particular were just hustlers and constantly like just seemingly reinventing and just staying on it. And then even Machine Gun Kelly wasn't on that stage, but I think he was on that year, one of the years that we went, and just seeing where he's at now, and it's like, wow, this is cool to see. It's cool to see that if you stick to whatever it is that you're doing, and that can change, like you say, feeding the beast. It's like the beast is always hungry, whether it's your own inner beast or the internet. It's cool to just see where everybody takes their sound and their hustle and what connections they make, and how that affects their big picture. And it's been super cool. It's been super cool to see you guys and tour with you guys, and everything that we do you kind of feel the progression, and that's really what keeps things going. Because if you're not progressing, you're kind of like, what am I doing here?
Yeah, yeah, and you'll get stuck in ruts like that. Like you'll feel like you've plateaued or hit a ceiling or something, and it's like, okay, where do we go from here? Can we go anywhere from here? Is this it? Like, why? I've this has been, I mean, oh my God, I started my band 27 years ago this summer.
Jeez.
Oh my God, it's so weird. But like, just going through every phase of the music industry, like the record industry, and seeing flavor of the week, flavor of the month, and seeing like, what sound is hot now. And we, for the longest time, I remember we're like, because we came, we were influenced by bands from the 90s, Green Day, Sublime, all that stuff. And we rode that for a very long time. And you still hear that in the music. But there was a time in like the early 2010s where it just felt like you couldn't play guitar in a rock song anymore. Like it was like dance music, things were just changing. And I felt like we were falling behind the curve, and whether we were ahead of it or not, I don't know, but at any point. But yeah, so there were definitely hard times where you sort of had to wonder, like, okay, is this even gonna happen? Like, all the work we've put in, what is this for? I've got a kid. I gotta, like,
Then
Should I-
that
should
becomes 2 kids, and then,
Yeah, it becomes 2 kids and then a wife or whatever. It's like, and then I gotta, am I gonna go work at Best Buy? Like, what do I got to do?
I think it's what's been important is that you've stuck to your guns on uh, most of what you're creating, and with so many outlets and so many avenues for people to get distracted by, I think, like, going back to like that grassroots hustle and those interactions that you have with people, and you going out and you're talking to the fans at merch, and you're doing this podcast and keeping that going for like 140 episodes, like, or did I get that number right?
150.
150, sorry.
It's okay. It's
Yeah,
okay. Nobody's
see,
counting.
yes. But that is how you keep your true fan base, is you're keeping them engaged, and you're saying, hey, whatever music looks like, this is what my music looks like, and thanks for following it. And uh, if you keep listening, I'll keep making it. And I think that with TikTok and all that music going on, uh,
Tell us how
it's
you
really,
feel.
yeah. I mean, to me, I'm just trying to say the right thing here. Um, I don't think that music should be created for the purpose of content. I think it should be. One thing that really bothered me was I had gotten an Instagram notification. It was like, so and so has a new song out. See what people are doing with it. And I was like taken back by it. I'm like, what do you? They should just be listening to it. What do you mean doing? Why do they have to do something with it? They don't have to do a dance to make it popular. Like, just hear it and enjoy it. And um, unfortunately, that's not really what this younger generation coming up, is whatever you call them. I'm not really into or accurate, as I should say, as far as what a millennial is and what all where the line is drawn. I just know that these younger kids, um, they want the attention, and they want to have a song that supports getting that attention. But I'm not going to write that song for them. I'm going to write a song that uh, you know is about whatever it is that I feel that song needs to be written about. And if they want to use it, awesome. Um, but it's really to be heard and enjoyed, and not really just passed off 30 seconds later. Um, that's how I feel.
Yeah, I think the way people consume music these days, I mean, it's way different than it used to be. And I my thing is, like, I don't want to turn into a dinosaur. Like, I don't want to. I'm not mad at how music is consumed these days. Spotify, TikTok, whatever. I'm just glad people are listening. And you're just gonna have that now with people. Hopefully, hopefully you do have people that hear your song and want to use it in their video and make some silly dance out of it, or whatever. Like, that would be great. It's the power that TikTok has to grow your band is insane. And I just think it's been untapped by, at least in this genre that we're in. Like, it's definitely untapped. And I feel like we need to figure out how to make it work for us, because that's how I felt about Spotify and Apple Music and everything. Like, you have, I see artists all the time, especially like older artists that are independent, and, on Facebook posts or whatever, talking about how Spotify sucks and they don't pay and this and that. Yeah, well, we know that. Like, but you have to make it work for you. This is what it is. It's like, if you don't, then no one's going to hear your music, because this is how they take music now. You know, this is how
You're
you
really not going to get paid if you pull your music from it. You know,
exactly.
it's one thing. It's like saying, "Oh, well, this job doesn't pay enough, so I'm just going to have no job." You know, you can't do that. Um, and if there's an outlet out there that is paying more, then I'm sure you're on it. You know, um,
Yeah.
and as far as like pulling, yeah, I know that whole controversy that's going on right now. I'm not gonna go pull my music from the where a place where I have 100,000 monthly listeners. You know?
It's insane.
Yeah,
It's insane. I think, yeah, as far I've actually had people reach out to me on the socials asking me what I think about it the last few days. And I didn't know a whole lot going on with it. But I've been watching some videos and kind of reading little bit. And I think Spotify and Joe Rogan need to take some responsibility. I think that, he put out that video yesterday about how he's, this is just what we do. We just talk, and he's always said that. We just talk. I'm a dummy. We just talk, and I have different people on with different perspectives and things. But I think when you have an audience that big, there's a responsibility, because there's a lot of people out there that listen to every word, and they're gonna like do what he says, and take on the perspective that he has. And I think it's important that like if you're gonna talk about these things, at least like get it right and or put some sort of, hey, we're just bullshitting at the top of the show or something, tag it, or
yeah.
Spotify needs to do the same. It's like, look, if you're going to start bringing on like controversial podcasts or music or anything, there should probably be some sort of warning, or I don't know, some tag or something. But take responsibility. Like Spotify and Joe Rogan are both heavy hitters in the zeitgeist. Like it's everywhere. It's ubiquitous. So like there's responsibility. And then for Neil Young, that's on him. He can decide where he wants his music. He can decide to pull it. Joni Mitchell's another one. She doesn't want it on there. That's fine. I mean, look, you're talking about these people from the 70s, 60s, and 70s that during Vietnam and all these like wars that were not popular, and people from that era, musicians from that era that used to fight about things like that. Well, this is the same sort of thing. Like, look, I'm speaking up for my own shit, standing up. I don't want it there. So,
yeah, if you don't want your music where the majority of people, thank you, Nick, are got my Dunkin'.
oh, nice. I'm jealous, bro.
If you don't want your music where the majority of people are listening to music, then I mean, I guess if you're Neil Young, you can afford that.
Yeah.
But I think some of it is, I think a lot of the internet is like, hey, look at me. Hey, look at this thing that I want to all of a sudden stand up for. I was hiding in the shadows
Yeah.
all this time, and here's this thing that I want to make a big stink about.
Yeah.
And when you say what's right and do Joe Rogan and Spotify and all that, like honestly, I don't even know what's right anymore. For every bit of information, you not like saying you're wrong, but every bit of information has another bit of information that you could find just as fast and contradicts everything that you just read. And it's hard to tell what sources are good sources of information anymore. Yeah. And I think that with all that's going on, I could, with people like you said, when people just take a snippet of something and then take that as truth. I think that's also what's happening with TikTok and songs and stuff. It's like they take a little bit of it and then that's what they're done. Oh, I've heard enough. And I think more research should be done if you're gonna like be a beacon of information, I guess, or maybe that's the wrong word.
You're right.
But like
A resource.
Yeah, I listen to Joe Rogan. Um, I like a lot of what he says. I don't understand a lot of what he says, and it's just it's on, and usually there's a something. I'm not saying it's my news source or anything. I
Yeah.
don't take everything he says to heart, but he does like he will retract himself and be like, "Oh, I was wrong about this," or he'll ask a question that contradicts something that he's said before, uh, and I respect that. And I do think that it should. It sounds like they came to a good conclusion of adding a disclaimer to what he's doing, and maybe that'll help. I don't think people will even listen to it. I think they're just going to hit skip intro, but
Yeah. Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
at least it'll be there.
Yeah. I just think that people, just because you hear it on a podcast, you should not take that. You know what I mean? Like, take it for a grain of salt, and you go, if it piques your interest about something, I'm gonna go look that up. I'm gonna go, check this out for myself. I'm gonna read some articles. Like read like what doctors are saying, what people that epidemiologists, like people that do this every day of their fucking lives. Like it's just, it's
I
just
mean, and
crazy.
then see, just like that though, it's like isn't that what those people were that are in hot water? They're doctors, they're cardiologists, they're Joe Rogan's not, but he's saying I'm not. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah. No, there's certainly no, it's a good point. Like, there's certainly like doctors that are saying questionable things as well. I don't think that there's anything wrong with questioning anything. I think you should question everything, the opposite. So, but there's like so much evidence that this is the right way to go, So it's just, it's crazy. It's a culture war thing. It's political. It's whatever. It just sucks that it's gone this way. It's just like, yeah, Joe Rogan shouldn't be your source of information on this type of thing, you know. But I think a lot of people just search for things that fit their own narrative. They go, I agree with this. And then one person, especially a guy with a influence like that, like the biggest podcast in the world. If he agrees, or if you agree with, or you align with what he's, if your beliefs align, then you're justified. And it's like, that's it, That's just silly to me,
yeah, we're all really just ants in this algorithm.
really.
Basically, it's
We
just
are.
like you're the way that it's all being advertised to you, and how you
Mm.
find a podcast like Joe Rogan that aligns with or doesn't align with what what Facebook thinks your views are. It's just really crazy, which is why I try to just stay out of it, because I don't understand it
Yeah.
to the point, and I don't know where to get news that is legit. And so if I can immerse myself in my songs and touring, then I'm just hoping it all pans out. Not saying that I'm not, I wouldn't vote, or I, you know, don't want to change what's going on. But I'll be on the healing side of it, I guess, and give people an outlet to just kind of escape the bullshit for 45 minutes to an hour and a half. And
That.
then we'll go right back to it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Like that. I don't necessarily like, trying to stay up on all this stuff. And I certainly don't watch CNN or Fox or any of that shit. It's all sensationalism and clicks for money and stuff, and fear. But it's also like it affects our industry directly, because we just did 18 months of nothing because of this shit, and it does anger me when there are solutions, or at least it's not an end all be all, but when there's some sort of a way out, or something that puts us on the right path to the way out, and it becomes political, and it that's when it angers me, because it's like, god damn it, man, like I did everything that I had to do, me and my family, we did everything we had to do. Our band stopped touring. We took the shot. We fucking lock down. We wear the mask. We do all the thing, all the things. And there's enough people that went against that, didn't do all those things, and it just keeps going. But then it's not just the U.S. It's like the whole world. It's like poor countries can't afford this thing, so they can't afford to get it. So it just creates variance, and it just cycle. But then it comes down to like, all right, we did what we had to do. If you didn't want to comply, do your part. Like I don't need to worry about your health. I don't need to worry about. Let's get on with our lives. That's where I'm at with this. 2 years later, of having done everything.
Yeah.
And I'm sensitive to the fact that like people are definitely still dying and all that, and that's very unfortunate. It sucks, But it's like, what are we supposed to do? And I'm so glad they didn't lock anything else down. That was a fear a few months ago when this Omicron shit was coming up. But I don't know. We need to move forward.
Some countries are like, hey, just can you just live with this?
Yeah,
And-
yeah. There's countries already living with it.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's just like that's how science works. Like data changes all the time. So it's like what didn't seem to work or what we thought might work, a year ago, maybe it didn't end up working. So now the science has changed to reflect that. Like, okay, this doesn't, like if it's whether it's masks or whatever, people didn't understand how vaccines work. Like they didn't understand, like, it's not necessarily going to keep you from getting it, but it's hopefully going to keep you from dying or getting severely sick. And
It's also really wild to see, touring during the pandemic has been interesting because you'll be one state over and the views are totally different. One state, you go to Chicago and you got to show your Vax card to eat at McDonald's. And then you go to, I don't, it was probably more than one state we drove for a while, but, the next place we go to, it's like there's one person wearing a mask and that's it. I feel like eventually if we just keep on trucking, we might reach some kind of normal.
yeah,
And if people want me to wear the mask, I'll wear the mask. I got the shot, so I had
Yeah.
to. And, like I said, we play by the rules. I'm not a big, what do you call it? When people fight the system. I don't even know the word for it. So no, it's not me.
yeah.
I don't like, and I don't like having all kinds of rules and people stepping on my freedoms and shit. But
Right.
like I said, I'll just do what I'm told I have to do. To an extent, I think I've done all that, and I'm ready to move on. I think the rest of the world is too.
Yeah.
And I think we're on the path. I really do. I mean, shit, 2 years ago, you could not have the shows that we're playing.
I know. My son reminded me a couple days ago. He's like, "Oh, you're playing a show. That's 2 years since you had to stop playing shows." I was like, "You're right. You're absolutely right."
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, man, I feel like we are on the path. It's like it was definitely it was pretty weird for a long time, and I think a lot of people are just fatigued, and hopefully the powers that be are looking at the latest data science and are going to make informed decisions based on that, rather than like some sort of what they think should be like a moral thing or like a virtuous thing. Look at the data and understand it, and have your rules or your new protocol reflect that, instead of like, if the masks don't work, don't make us fucking wear them anymore. If they do work, and as you said, I'm totally happy to wear a mask. I was wearing a mask a couple days ago. This thing, like, I'll do what I got to do. I'm not like the type, fuck that, I'm not doing it. Like, But if at the same time, if I go to a big room and I'm supposed to be wearing masks and like 20 people have the mask as a chin diaper, some people aren't even wearing a mask. It's like, what is this? This is arbitrary. This is stupid. This is so
Yeah.
dumb. Like this, the dumb approach. That's like what is so stressful about it. It's like, dude, what is it? We're not even like
So
I
I
can
went
sit
to-
down in a restaurant and the virus goes over my head. Like, I don't
Yeah,
understand.
I went to Mexico, and they had at the hotel that we were staying at. They had this like karaoke thing going on, and you the rules were you had to, when you walk up to the stage, you have to wear your mask, but then you walk just 10 feet across to where the microphone was on the other side of the stage, and then you could pull it off to sing. And it's like, what good does that do? And like, in a lot of times in Florida, you gotta, of course, everybody bitches about this, but it's like, you gotta wear it to sit down at the restaurant. As soon as you're at your table, you can pull it off. Does make a lot of sense. Really, for me, I just wish my face would stop breaking out because of the mask. It's like I get them in like the places all up in here, all by my ears from the. It's like I don't have that many masks. I'm not a mask manufacturer, so they can only go so far.
Yeah. I want to, before we go any further, I do want to say that Greg and I are not doctors and we're not epidemiologists, and you should
Yes.
go look for your own information.
Disclaimer. Yeah.
Since we're on the-
If you learn anything from Dr. Greg, you should probably unlearn it real.
yeah,
fast.
yeah, for sure. Go read an article.
Yes,
by
all
an
this said,
actual
I have
doctor.
gotten COVID, and
Yeah, both of us.
yeah, and luckily I didn't get it too bad as other people. But it is pretty gnarly stuff, and stay safe out there. And listen, I've done the best thing that I could have done for my entire touring operation is stop smoking weed with people.
There you go.
And I really am an advocate. I think everybody should be doing that.
Smart.
Right now.
Stop passing
why-
the joint.
Yeah, why would you do that at a time like this? And people be like, oh yeah, here you go, and then they're like, and just it's like, dude, you could have not handed me that, or said, hey, I'm getting over a cold. So now I just I'm thinking I'm like 4 tours in of not smoking with people, and my tours last a lot longer.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Yeah, it was the same thing with like bottle pulls. You're like, well, are we doing bottle pulls like during COVID? It's like everybody's like passing around the whiskey. Like, wait a second, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Also, shout out to all the people on the front line, all the nurses and doctors and stuff that have been dealing with this for the past 2 years every day, in the shit, like dealing with this. And that's, yeah. Seriously,
They're the true heroes.
The heroes, man, the real heroes. So I definitely don't want to, take any sort of, I don't know. I don't want to take away that, when we're talking about like the masks and things like that, and whatever, like getting it and dealing with it, like these people deal with this stuff every day, So
I just like to respect anybody's, like, some people want to take a bunch of vitamins and that's their method, then sweet, they're doing something. And if I want to not smoke with people, and then that's not my only method, but a very strong one. And that's good. And if you want to wear a mask, you want to get the vaccine, you want to get boosted 1,000 times, whatever you got to do, as long as you're doing something, do your part. And I think we'll get through this.
Yeah, I think there's a social contract, social responsibility to, people have the right to not get sick by you, and I think that gets overlooked, because I feel like we're a me culture, me first. And to some respect, you should be thinking about yourself, you should be doing things for yourself, and you should probably be number one. But when it comes to things like this, when it's like a community thing, we have to just think a little different, and then just what can we do to get through this the fastest, and you know,
And the answer is take joints to the face.
hell yeah. Um,
I know
so
you're not a big smoker, but
so no, I'm not. So I see that Cashed Out is getting hotels now, and that makes me happy.
yep, look at this thing. I got a curtain.
I mean, there's so much room for activities
The
now.
van doesn't have any curtains.
It's yeah, and it feels like such an upgrade when you get to the hotels, because we slept in people's houses for 7 years, from the first time we started touring. We're sleeping on floors, sleeping in parking lots, and I think around 2013 is when we were like, okay, no more houses, because we stayed at enough weird places, and we were like, we got to start. I feel like the money's there. We can start doing hotels, and and we started with one hotel. I think we barely had a crew back then, so it was like 4 of us in one room, and it's like 2 guys in a bed. And then now it's like we're to the point now where we have a few more rooms, so everybody gets a bed, and it's a lot more comfortable. But it's good to see you guys doing that.
Yeah, we're snuggling in close to each other, but
Yeah.
it's not so bad. You wake up and someone's next to you. It's cozy. But it's definitely a game changer in morale. When you know that van ride, you're going to drive for 5 hours, but then you don't have to try to sleep in that position that you were in for the past 5 hours. That's huge. It makes the long rides a little more bearable. There were talks of not getting as many rooms and people sleeping in the van, but like we looked like last night on the way here, there was ice inside the van on the windows. So it's like I'm really glad that we did not opt for that.
Yeah.
And then we were having this issue. I don't know if your van ever did this. So the front of the van gets pretty warm, very warm. The back of the van does not. It stays cold. So we're this like everybody's like either sitting in the middle or they're all up front, and I hang out in the back. I got Donald's row. He told me about the back row a long time ago.
You love the back row.
Yeah, it's a different vibe back there, and but it's also a different temperature at all times. Whatever temperature you want it to be, it is the opposite, and it's pretty consistent. So at least there's that, but it makes that stuff not so bad. And of course, the beds and the showers. Look at this. I got clean hair. It's curling up because I brushed it.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, it does, and it really makes for like the show to be better. If you're pissed off and you just want to go home, that's not a good way to play a show. You're not going to be hyped. You're not going to get anybody else hyped, and it comes off.
That was going to be the thing I was going to add, was that so you're looking at like your budget, your hotel budget, because obviously you want to try to keep as much money as you can, from touring, when it's all said and done. But how much is it worth to get good rest in a comfy spot? It's like, can I pay a little extra money to raise the morale or keep, because it's very hard to keep a positive, happy morale all the time, especially on a 4, 6, 9 week tour. And when you're doing things like adding money to get a hotel room or something, increasing your budget a little bit, it makes things better. Everybody feels better. You play better.
It does, and what's really helped is getting sponsors. I gotta give a shout out to our sponsors while we're talking about it. On this tour we have Stashbox and Smoke Proper. and in-ears audio, always just helping, taking care of us, and literally putting clothes on our back sometimes, and that has definitely helped with the budgeting of things. And I think it's important, and a lot of that goes back to that grassroots hustle of making those relationships and getting out there and talking to people, and that's how you find those things. But that has been a huge asset to us, and being able to afford it, because on these support tours you're not taking, you're not getting all the money. The headliner makes the money, and it's not like they're just making it rain. They have bigger expenses. The bigger your band gets, the more expenses you have. So you think they're like, oh yeah, now our guarantees have gone up, but it's like, oh, but now we have to pay this guy to do this thing, and we need more merchandise because we're playing a bigger venue, and then you have to ship that merchandise, and all these things just add up. And to be able to, I'm just stoked we're at a. I mean, actually, I don't know. I can't say that we're at a level where we can afford it because I won't know until we get home. But I think we can, according to our projections. But and that's like a big risk, because just like making, when you rent a bus, for example, you don't really know that you're not going to come home in the red. You just have to get out there and try it and potentially fail. And I think for many years we played it very safe, and did the slept on the floors and by the litter boxes, as you say, and just a lot of sacrifice to be able to just come home with a little bit of money in your pocket. By the way, rent is due today. If anybody doesn't know, it's the 1st.
It is.
And that takes it right out of you. any bit that you made, it's going to the bills. So at least if you're going to sacrifice and you're going to put in all this work and freeze your ass off, then at least you got a nice cozy Motel 6. We'll leave the light on for. Actually, we're at a Hilton, I think.
Wrong slogan, bro.
Yeah.
We got a Hilton today. Nice.
Yeah. We'll bolt the TV to the dresser for you.
That's wonderful. Where are you guys at today?
Niagara Falls.
Cool.
Which I just learned was in New York. Didn't know that.
Well, it's like in New York and it's in Canada.
Yeah, it's very close. We were a little worried about taking the wrong route and having to
hit that checkpoint.
Canada. Yeah, but we
Those aren't
dodged
fun.
it. I know. We have been through a couple. I personally have been detained once. It was not fun. And
They find a bowl or something.
it was with another band, and you know how in Arizona there's the agricultural checkpoint?
Yeah.
So this was one of my first times like traveling across country.
Mm-hmm.
And
Florida too. We got popped there one day.
Oh yeah, they have one.
Yeah.
Never stop at that one for some reason. But they, I thought that the agricultural checkpoint was the checkpoint that I was supposed to worry about.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't realize that was just for fruits and vegetables. And so I fired up my vegetables right after we got through there, thinking like, woo! And then obviously they smelled that when we got to Texas.
No.
And it was this whole ordeal, and they locked us. I thought we were going to get off too, because they had us handcuffed to the bench where they're like taking all our information.
You got handcuffed?
Well, yeah. So
That's
like
such bullshit.
There's like a bench, and then they handcuff you to that, and then they find out that we're banned. So they're like, "Oh, we'll play us a song," and I was like, "Oh, okay, we got this. We're off free." So we play him a song. At the time, we had a female front woman, and they. I was thinking like, okay, they're gonna be impressed by her. She's got some pipes. This is gonna be good. And we sing the song, and they're like, okay, well, get in the cell. You know, we got your information now. And I had
Thanks
to
for
like
the
play
song.
the guitar like on my lap because I was handcuffed to this bench.
Dude,
And then they
that's
kept us there for like
ridiculous.
12 hours. They separate the girl from the rest of us. And actually, Mike Stevie was with me. And we all had to poop in front of each other, which is very weird. And it was extremely cold. And I learned that day that I do not do well behind locked doors. And so the whole time, I probably pissed the whole band off because like the whole time I'm like, "Where's the fucking sheriff?" Because they told us, "So you gotta wait here till the sheriff comes. He may be on horseback."
Oh my
And
god, dude.
so I'm thinking like, "Come on, man, it's horsepower. How long could it take?" You know. I think that was just he was full of shit. He was definitely in like a fucking Suburban, and yeah. So 12 hours later, they let us go, and they did this Super Troopers thing where they pulled us out two at a time and tried to say that we had more weed than we did. They dumped this pillowcase full of weed, and they're like, "Who had a green pillowcase?" And I'm like, I don't know. I had a nug this big. That's not mine. And then they're just laughing. They laugh it off, and it's like, okay, cool. Can we go down? They're like, no, the sheriff's still coming. You gotta.
Oh my god,
get
what a bunch of assholes, dude.
Yeah, they
Come
fucking
on, man. You
they
guys
really enjoy
got for 12 hours handcuffed for fucking weed, like that they
Yeah.
didn't even find. That's what I'm saying. That's
Yeah, they didn't find it either. They found a little bit. Mike Stevie he had just bought a bong from Venice, but it did have a little bit of resin in it. So they found that, but we had one of those. These things work. The little Mountain Dew stash bottles. They didn't find the weed in there. They didn't check that.
Oh man, yeah. I mean, we always make sure to avoid any checkpoints, but if we have to, like, we just don't have. We just know we've been, pulled over too many times for that shit, and you just learn over years. But
Well, now
at the
from
same-
that experience, we don't smoke in the van.
yeah,
We stash everything pretty good if we're gonna carry it. Try to be as discreet as possible because you just never know, and that shit can really bog down your tour.
it's a shame that it's still such a big deal.
Really is. You can smoke cigarettes all day.
Yep.
Nobody gives a shit.
Nobody gives a shit. Yeah,
But
I mean, they should have just
stop.
they should have just taken your personal whatever it was and just let you go. You know, if they
Well,
really wanted to do
but
something.
I don't know if I mentioned that 6 pounds that they dropped out of the pillowcase was not ours. They busted
Oh.
it from someone else.
No, I know they were fucking with you. Yeah, stupid, trying to scare you and shit. Oh,
Yeah.
that's frustrating. I've been there. We've been there a lot of times, so I totally feel what you're saying. It's like stressful. So yeah, man, I'm glad we got to catch up on here. So you guys you're on the road with Badfish. How long's the tour?
It's like a month and a half, I think.
Wow, really? Okay.
I could be wrong. At least a month. I just get in the van. I don't ask too many questions. It tend to stress Marshall out. He's like, it's on the day sheet. So
That's the tour manager's favorite thing to say. Check the master tour. Check the day sheet.
yeah, it's on the day. It was on the day sheet, dude.
What
Yes, I'm that guy.
when are we getting some new tunes?
Josh, if you're listening, we would love to know that. No,
Come on, Josh.
no, Josh is mixing it. And it's one of those things where it's like supposed to be done, but he's taking his time for good reason. And I don't want to rush this process. Bless you.
All right.
It's not COVID. But probably, hopefully, sometime this year, summertime maybe. But like I said, I'm not going to rush him. he's very, very, very good at what he does.
Yeah.
And I think if I just let him do his thing, then it will be beneficial. So I couldn't tell you, but
Yeah.
it will come out. It is done. Our part's done. So now it's just, we just ride him for a while, and
Awesome.
we'll get it. We'll get it soon. But it is, oh man, it sounded killer. I'll
can't wait to
send
hear
you
it.
some of the stuff that we do have,
Yeah, please.
and it's pretty awesome. We got like a throwback vibe to it, and there's some poppy stuff. We're a pretty poppy band.
You are.
Yeah, but it's all
Nothing
fun.
wrong with that.
Hey, it works for me. If it doesn't work for you, then don't do it. But
Dude, you guys have a great sound, man.
I appreciate that, and I appreciate your influence on our band. I think about it a lot more than you probably might know.
Oh, wow.
But just a lot of I ask myself a lot, like, would Ballyhoo do this?
I love that we're like some sort of barometer.
You are, and your crew's out with everybody when you're home, and now I get to say that my crew's out with everybody. Everybody takes our sound guy, who's freaking one of a kind, and they got our photographers and videographers, and I used to get mad about it, but now I'm like, this happened to Ballyhoo. So
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's, I know, my whole my whole crew, the usual crew, was out with Pacifier and those guys last couple weeks.
I saw them. I got to see Alex for a little bit.
But that's how you know you're doing it right, because we try to make sure we take out good people and train them up, and make things good. And when they end up going with other bands, it's kind of a thing, like, oh man, like we're doing it right. People like these guys, and they work hard.
They're like your kids in a weird way,
Yeah.
You teach them how to do the job the way you
send them on
want
their
it
way.
done, and then that passes inspection for another band, and it's kind of like, all right, then they approve of how we do things.
That happened
And-
so much back in the day. But yeah, it's great when you got your crew, and everybody's like oiled up and everything's moving like the way it's supposed to, and it just feels good.
It is, and then it's also nice to know that when if I want to hire some of your crew, that I don't have to teach them a bunch of stuff. That
Yeah.
it's like I know that they know the things that shouldn't need to be explained, and it is nice. So thanks for all that you do, whether people realize it or not. I know that it doesn't go unnoticed over here.
Thanks, man. I'm happy to happy to see things moving along for you guys, and yeah, it's cool to see you doing like all these tours, and then seeing you on like the festival flyers, and I don't know, it's great, and then seeing people like talking in all the Facebook band groups and stuff, like what I like seeing a lot is when you're in whoever's group or whatever, and then the people are talking about, there's a post about another band from the community, like it's very cool to see that. It's the same way like when you see a Ballyhoo shirt at an Iration show, or you know what I'm saying, like
Or you're
just
wearing
see
an
the-
article shirt right now.
I'm wearing an article shirt. Yeah, you just see like the support, and like it's just really cool, tight community, and like you having you guys like in the conversation, is cool to see.
It's very nice and refreshing, and people say very nice things, and it is a great community to be a part of, and it's it's the interactions that we have that keep people talking, and we, as long as they'll talk to us, we'll talk to them, and I'm very happy to be here and still kicking, and it feels great to be back out on tour and playing solid shows again. And I'm out here to fucking meet people. Let's meet safely. I'm not gonna smoke your joint, but I will say thank you for coming, and I will, I'll roll my own, and we can smoke together. If that's your prerogative. A lot of people really want to smoke with me, and I appreciate that too. But just hand me the joint.
Yeah.
I'll smoke it.
Yeah. It's a weird time to be a pot smoker.
Yeah, it is. It is. But it's also a great time, and everything's good. Everything is super fun.
Yeah.
And I'm happy that you have your 150 episodes to share these things and to give people a perspective of the way things really are sometimes, and maybe influence the way they can be.
Well said. Well said.
Yeah, kind of. I fumbled a little bit, but this is real.
Yeah, it is real. Dude, thanks so much for being on the show.
Thanks for having me. I hope it wasn't too boring.
No,
It's
not
like
at
we're
all.
just talking to my friend here.
Dude, it's great. Yeah, man.
What's up with Ballyhoo? You guys got things in the works?
Always. I mean, I'm always writing and stuff, but we're going to announce a spring tour shortly. We're confirming the lineup on that. Just kind of heading. It's just 2 weeks down to Florida and back, and then a bunch of weekend stuff coming up, and we're going to be doing like a short run this summer, and nothing too crazy. And then just working on music, and just keep doing podcast episodes and building the YouTube channel and all that. So it's live streams,
Grinding.
business
I love
as
it.
usual. Yeah.
Well, hit me up when you get to Florida, and
For
maybe
sure.
I'll be there, and you can come hang, do some fishing or something.
Yeah, absolutely. That'd be fun, man. I know I see you out there on your little lake.
Yeah, I broke my jet ski though.
I heard. It sucks.
A little sad about it, but I think I might be able to have it fixed by the time we're done with this tour. That's the goal.
Good. Got to get back
yeah.
out there.
Dude, it's amazing how much that thing just brings me joy. And it's like a saying, I think. It's like you can't be mad on a jet ski,
Yeah.
and it's just really true. I could be so pissed off, and I'll just take a lap and be like, life's not that bad. Until the damn thing sinks, and then you're like, fuck.
That would suck.
Yeah.
Incredible, dude.
Yeah.
Well, dude, have fun. Be safe. Enjoy your day off. And tell the guys I said hello. And
I will. I'm gonna drink this Dunkin', smoke this Nug here, and then I'm gonna go to Bob Evans and eat some French toast.
there you go. Damn, it sounds like a good day.
It is. Maybe if I could squeeze in a Walmart or do some laundry, I think in tip-top shape.
That's a wonderful Tuesday.
Yeah.
Right on, dude. Well, take care of yourself, and talk to you soon. This has been episode number 150 of Tales from the Green Room podcast. Woo! You've been a frequent guest. Make sure you subscribe and check out my live streams every Wednesday night. And if you want some DMCA free music, hit up my album Aberrations. You can use it in your streams, podcasts, live streams, all that fun stuff. All right. See you later, guys. Peace.